Today I'm going to talk about some ways in which you can save yourself a ton of money during events going on in the future. So the recent kind of a new introduction of a questline within Escape from Tarkov's PvE mode meant that the prices of items went through the roof in order to actually complete the questline. And with having new quests in the game, it of course means that people are wanting to do them as quickly as possible, but there's a reason why you should hold off to do these quests, especially if you are someone that is struggling to earn money, or simply you just want to maximize the amount of money that you're spending on these events in particular, as well as going forward in the future, whether it be these exact quests or whether you're talking about, you know, the next set of quests or maybe the next event that comes out. There is always the same trends that go on. So with that in mind, obviously this whole new event comes around some skills which or levels 2 skills that are rewarded for doing the event, which is to hand over some Tricon Reap IRs, and then you go forward and there's a whole new set of quests. Now the reason in which you are not going to want to do these straight away is because of the fact that the prices of these items when they first get released go through the roof. So if you watched a video that I did recently on the whole new quest lines covering exactly what came out, you'll realise that clocks went all the way up to about 5 million to 6 million in price just for a wooden clock. Now you can see that these have now come down to 140k each. Now there's a reason why they went high, and that is to do with the barters in order to complete this kind of event or quest. And it's the exact same with all of these quests and events that we've had in the past. The same trend occurs. The event gets released or the quest gets introduced. Loads of PvE players, including the absolute whales, the people who have over 1 billion rubles in the game, realise that this has happened, and so they want to get on it as quickly as possible. And what happens when you create instantaneous demand on items that are maybe not supplied or sought after, or maybe even worth taking out of the raid? They go through the roof, which is why how all of these items like wooden clocks and skulls, golden skulls, which were typically the discard value when they were actually in the game, so a gold skull ring, they were like 60k. The clocks were about 50k. Currently they're about triple to quadruple the price of which they usually are within the game, which is discard value, essentially what you can sell to traders for. And so why is this now a good time to buy if you want to do the quest line, and why you would wait to do it? Well, it's essentially because you can save yourself a ton of money. And remember, unless you have completed every single quest in the game, there really isn't a whole lot of rush that you need to do in order to complete these new quests. Now, I wholeheartedly agree, if you've got billions of rubles, then there is no reason why you wouldn't just start doing these or whatever. But most of the time what you'll see is as soon as the quest gets released, all of the items go flying high to a point where they're like, I don't know, 100 times the price what they normally are. Now this is the worst time to buy. At the very release of the new quest or release of the new event, it is the worst time to buy straight away. Just waiting like 6, 7, 8 hours, 10 hours, just till the end of the day of when this event or quest gets released, you can probably save yourself about 4 times the money. So instead of spending, you know, 100 million rubles, you could spend 20 million rubles. It is literally that dramatic. The amount of money people will pay just to have instant gratification of completing part of the quest is super, super high. So waiting just a small period of time, waiting an extra day, is going to save you just an infinite amount of money, and why I don't think people should really go flying into these events just trying to complete them as soon as possible. And one thing that we can do if you are thinking about doing them is just trying to find the items yourself. If you really want to complete them and not spend an infinite amount of money doing it. You can just find out what the items are required for a barter trade, for example. The Tricon RePIR, there's like 3 barter trades which you can get the item from. One is like an M4 that actually has the scope on it. And then 2 of them that are just barters for the actual scope themselves. Is you can just find out what those items are and go and farm those items within the game. It's much better financially. It's going to also take a bit of time, which means all of the prices of those items are going to come down for when you want to buy them yourself, because that is the easiest way to do it. And obviously you can sell off those items as you're doing it if you want to make a ton of money at the exact same time. Buying into the hype, buying into the instant gratification of completed a part of the stage, because you can't do them all at once mostly because they're barters and you have to wait for the time to reset to get the next one. Yeah, I don't see why you would spend all of that money up front if you are thinking about it logically and you're not simply just doing it based off, oh, well, I've got a crap ton of money, it doesn't matter to me, which is perfectly reasonable, perfectly fine. But if you are doing that, make sure that you don't purchase over the amount required for you to complete that one barter trade, because what happens usually is people buy up like, I don't know, 20 of the clocks so they can do 4 of the barters, but in that time they're going to have to wait like 12 hours to actually get all 4 of those barters, by which point they should have just bought the items at the time that they're required, because usually those items actually just go down in price over time because people start farming them to make money, and so the supply goes up and the demand remains the same and actually starts to come down because more people are completing the actual quest. And so what you really want to do is only buy when you need them for the actual barters themselves as well. If you are simply just wanting to do it as quickly as possible and as cheaply as possible, don't buy in bulk when they first come out. It is the worst thing to do because the prices of those items is only going to go down, mostly. Unless for some reason BSG then come out with a second part to the event where one of those items is then required for another part of the quest line, like a day in advance. But you can't predict the future. Mostly, like in almost all cases, it is better to actually just buy them when they're required as time goes on, because it's going to save you money in the long run and is just the best thing to do. So that is the video. Very simple. Hopefully it made sense. Just save yourself a shocking amount of money. I was going to say something else, but YouTube don't like that. So yeah, hopefully you understood it. And for future reference, you will save a ton of money, or just farm up all of the people that didn't watch this video or simply do not care, at which point you can make a ton of money off of them. So thank you very much for watching. Like the video if you did, and of course check out some of the other content on the channel, including guides and stuff like that for Escape from Tarkov PvE, and I'll see you there. Goodbye.